Look, I need to tell you something that's probably going to sting a little bit. According to research from the Journal of Behavioral Finance, the average retail trader quits within 18 months. Not because they went broke, most don't blow up their accounts. They quit because they're exhausted, emotionally drained, burned out. Here's the thing, and this is what nobody talks about. Trading doesn't just drain your bank account when you do it wrong. It drains you, your energy, your confidence, your mental health, your relationships. And the kicker? Most people burn out using the exact same mindset that made them successful in every other area of life. Let me paint you a picture of what burnout actually looks like in trading, because it's not what most people think. You wake up and immediately check your positions before you even get out of bed. Your heart rate spikes. During breakfast, you're not with your family. You're mentally rehearsing trades, worrying about what the market's going to do. You sit down at your screen. You're hyper-focused. Every tick on the chart feels personal. You're gripping your mouse so tight your hand aches. 3 hours later, you realize you haven't moved, you've barely blinked, and your shoulders are up around your ears. You take a loss and it ruins your entire day. Not just the trading day, your entire day. You're snapping at people. You can't focus on anything else. That $300 loss is living rent-free in your head. You take a win and you can't even enjoy it because you're terrified of giving it back tomorrow. You're checking your account at dinner, at your kid's soccer game. Before bed, you're dreaming about trades. You wake up at 3 a.m. thinking about positions you could have taken. This is what most people don't realize. You didn't come to trading to create a second job that slowly destroys your mental health. But that's what happens when you bring the wrong psychology to it. And here's where people really mess up. They think the solution is to just be tougher, push through it. That's what winners do, right? Wrong. That's what people who burn out do. So let me show you exactly why this happens, because understanding the mechanism is the first step to fixing it. Think about a 100-meter sprinter versus an ultramarathon runner. I want you to really visualize this for a second. The sprinter steps up to the blocks. Every muscle is coiled, heart pounding, adrenaline flooding the system. The gun goes off and it's total explosive power, maximum intensity, everything you have right now for 10 seconds. When it's over, the sprinter collapses, physically destroyed, gasping for air. It takes hours to recover from that level of intensity. That's fine for a 10-second race. But what if you tried to sustain that intensity for hours, for days, for years? You'd destroy yourself. Not eventually, quickly. Your body would shut down. Now here's the thing most people miss. That's exactly what you're doing to your brain in trading. You're bringing that sprinter intensity, that maximum alertness, threat level red, control the outcome mentality, and you're trying to sustain it for 6 hours a day, 5 days a week, for years. Your brain literally can't do it. It's not built for it. Dr. John Coates, a former Wall Street trader who's now a neuroscientist at Cambridge, actually measured this. He found that traders operating in high-stress, high-intensity mode show the same cortisol levels as soldiers in combat. You know what happens to soldiers who stay in combat mode for extended periods? PTSD, burnout, breakdown. But somehow we expect traders to just tough it out? To maintain that intensity indefinitely? That's insane. Look, here's where this gets really personal, because I've watched this destroy people I care about. You come to trading with this identity. You're a winner. You're someone who makes things happen. You see a problem, you fix it. You see an opportunity, you seize it. That's who you are. And that identity has served you incredibly well. It built your career. It built your wealth. People respect you for it. But in trading, that identity becomes a prison. Because here's what your brain does. Every trade becomes a test of your identity. If the trade wins, you're validated. See, I'm still a winner. I've still got it. If the trade loses, you're threatened. Wait, did I mess up? Am I losing my edge? Maybe I'm not as good as I thought. So now every single trade carries this massive emotional weight. It's not just about the money, though that's stressful enough. It's about who you are. No wonder you're exhausted. You're defending your entire sense of self, multiple times a day, in an environment where you literally cannot control the outcome. It's like being a sprinter who has to prove they're still fast by racing 100 times a day, and half those races are rigged against them. How long before you're a broken mess? Now, you might be thinking, okay, so what's the alternative? Just stop caring? Stop trying? No. Here's where the ultramarathon metaphor gets really interesting. Because ultrarunners aren't lazy. They're not quitting. They're just operating from a completely different psychology. Let me tell you what actually happens in a 100-mile ultramarathon, because this is where it clicks. Around mile 30, most first-time ultrarunners hit what they call the first wall. Everything hurts. They're tired. Their brain is screaming, "This is insane. Stop. Rest. You can't do this." And here's the thing. If they listen to that voice, if they try to push through it with intensity and willpower, they don't make it to mile 40. But experienced ultrarunners, they know something different. They slow down. Sometimes they walk. They eat. They drink. They intentionally lower their intensity. And their brain is screaming at them, "You're losing. Other people are passing you. You're failing." But they don't listen. Because they're not racing those other people. They're racing the course. And the course is 100 miles long, not 30. By mile 60, all those people who sprinted past them earlier, they're done, collapsed, out of the race. The ultrarunner is still moving, steady, sustainable, and they're going to finish. Here's what most people don't realize. The ultrarunner's real skill isn't physical endurance, it's psychological detachment. They've learned to separate their pace from their identity. Going slow doesn't mean they're weak. Walking doesn't mean they're failing. Taking a break doesn't mean they're quitting. They're just managing their energy for the long race. So here's where we have to completely rebuild what winning means. Because this is the thing that either saves you or destroys you in trading. Most people's definition: winning equals making money on this trade today, right now. Every trade is a test. Every day is a referendum on whether you're still good enough. With that definition, you will burn out. It's not a question of if, it's when. Because you're going to have losing days. You're going to have losing weeks. The market doesn't care about your need to validate yourself daily. Probability doesn't care about your identity. So winning has to become something you actually control, something sustainable. Here's the reframe. Winning equals, did I protect my psychological energy today? Did I only trade when my setup was actually there? Or did I force trades because I felt like I should be productive? Did I take my losses without turning them into a personal crisis? Did I walk away from the screen when I was tilted? Or did I revenge trade? Did I end my trading day with energy left for the rest of my life? Or am I a hollowed out zombie? Look, I know this sounds soft. Where's the intensity? Where's the competitiveness? Where's the killer instinct? But here's the thing. You can have intensity for a day, a week, maybe a month. Then you break. Or you can have a sustainable focus for a decade, 2 decades, or 40 years, and actually build something. So let's get specific, because this isn't just philosophy. There are actual practices that separate traders who last from traders who burn out. Habit number 1, pre-trade checklist, but not the kind you think. Most traders have a checklist for their setup. Is there support? Is there volume? Is there confirmation? That's fine, but you need a psychological checklist too. Am I calm right now, or am I agitated? Is this trade coming to me, or am I chasing it? Can I describe this setup in one breath, or am I rationalizing? Will I be okay if this loses? If you can't pass the psychological checklist, you don't take the trade. Period. This isn't about being perfect. This is about not making trades that drain your mental energy even before they're executed. Habit number 2, the post-trade separation ritual. Win or lose, you need a way to psychologically close the trade and move on. Some traders physically stand up and walk away from the screen for 2 minutes. Some write 1 sentence in a journal. Some take 3 deep breaths. It doesn't matter what the ritual is. What matters is you're training your brain. That trade is over. It doesn't define me. I'm resetting. Without this, every trade bleeds into the next one. You're carrying emotional baggage from trade to trade until you're buried under the weight of it. Habit number 3, hard stops on trading time. Here's what burnout looks like. Just one more trade. Just one more setup. Just let me check the charts one more time. You know what ultra runners do? They have checkpoints. At mile 20, I assess. Do I keep going or stop? It's predetermined. No emotion involved. You need the same thing. I trade for 3 hours, then I'm done. Even if I'm winning. Even if I'm losing. Even if there's another setup. This isn't about being lazy. This is about being sustainable. Because here's what most people don't realize. The mental fatigue from trading is invisible. You can't feel it building the way you feel physical tiredness, but it's there, degrading your decision-making, increasing your emotional reactivity, setting you up for mistakes. Habit number 4, the energy audit. Every week, honestly ask yourself, is trading adding energy to my life or draining it? If you're waking up with dread, if you're more irritable, if you're disconnected from people you care about, if trading is occupying your thoughts even when you're not trading, you're running the wrong race. You need to adjust. Fewer trades, smaller size, different time frames, something. Because if trading is draining you, you won't last. And this isn't a sprint, it's a 40-year journey. Look, here's the thing everyone gets wrong about trading psychology. They think the enemy is losing trades, or drawdowns, or volatility. No, the real enemy is unsustainability. The real enemy is the mindset that turns every trade into an identity crisis. The real enemy is the belief that you have to be on at maximum intensity all the time to succeed. The real enemy is carrying every loss like a personal failure until the weight of them crushes you. And here's what nobody tells you when you start. You can have a winning strategy and still burn out. You can be profitable and still quit because you can't stand the emotional toll anymore. A study from the CFA Institute found that professional traders report higher rates of anxiety and depression than the general population. Not because they're losing money, but because of the psychological demands of the job. We're asking human brains to do something they weren't designed for. Make high-stakes decisions under uncertainty, repeatedly, while managing emotional responses that evolve to keep us alive, not to make us profitable. So let me bring this home, because here's what building a winning trading psychology actually means. It means accepting that you're running a 40-year race, not a 10-second sprint. It means redefining winning from making money today to protecting my psychological capital today. It means learning to separate your pace from your identity. Trading slowly, waiting patiently, walking away when conditions aren't right. None of that means you're weak or failing. It means you're managing your energy for the long race. It means building habits that create sustainability, not just profitability. And most importantly, it means recognizing that the traders who last, the ones who are still here in year 10, year 20, still engaged, still learning, still growing, they're not the ones who had the most intensity. They're the ones who learned to pace themselves. Here's something you can implement today. Before you take your next trade, take 3 slow breaths and ask yourself, am I sprinting or pacing right now? If you feel that urgency, that cortisol spike, that need to act now, that feeling of, I have to make something happen, stop. That's your sprinter brain, and your sprinter brain will burn you out. Wait until you feel the ultra runner's calm. My setup is here. I'm prepared. I'm executing my plan. The outcome is irrelevant to my identity. That's pacing. That's sustainable. That's the psychology that lasts. Look, I get it. Everything in you wants to sprint. You've been rewarded for sprinting your whole life. Quick decisions, aggressive action, make it happen now. But trading is asking you to run 100 miles. Same legs, different race. You can keep sprinting and burn out in 18 months, like most traders. Or you can learn to pace yourself and still be here in 18 years, building real wealth without sacrificing your mental health, your relationships, or your sense of self. The choice is yours, but I'm telling you, the traders who make it aren't the ones who ran the fastest. They're the ones who learned to run at a pace they could sustain. Stop sprinting, start pacing. Your future self will thank you.